Hi guys, I'm here with Nutritionist May Simpkin because recently my weight loss has plateaued and I'm not quite sure why. I'm doing all the right things, I'm meal prepping, I'm eating tons of fruits and veg, and I'm exercising up to 5 times a week, but everything's slowed down. I've been keeping a food diary for the past 3 months because research has shown that this can actually double your success of weight loss.
So I understand your health goals are to lose weight, also to improve your gut health and improve your energy levels, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So should we have a look at the diary then? Yeah. I've got an example of a week here.
So I can see that you're having kefir, which is a fermented milk drink, and that's really going to introduce some good bacteria. And if you're looking to improve your gut health, then that's a really good choice. The protein powder is also going to keep you going all morning. So I noticed that you didn't have a need for any snacks mid-morning until you got to lunch. With the bean soup, it's worth looking at the ingredients list and just making sure that there isn't too much sugar. Sometimes when it's a ready-made shop-bought soup, it can actually have a lot more sugar than you would realize. So that's something that you can be more aware of. For dinner with chili con carne, you've got great protein there, some good beans and also brown rice, so you've got a good whole grain and actually more protein option that's going to keep you fuller. So I can see that after dinner, you didn't have a need to snack too much because that was really keeping you going. So some good choices there.
Great start for the week. So how much water should I be drinking to actually lose weight?
Well, we do need to stay hydrated, so ideally between 6 to 8 glasses. But the food that you're eating does count towards that, so your smoothies and your bone broth. But in addition, we can look to have herbal teas, and if you like green tea, that's also a really good choice. If we're looking to reach at least 5 a day, you're certainly on your way to doing that. Your lunchtime salad and your evening salad includes a good variety of vegetables. That's certainly going to be packing in the vegetables, so you've got the good portions there. If you're varying your vegetables, you're also varying your nutrients, so that's going to help make sure that you've got a healthy, balanced diet. It is worth looking at the dressing and making sure that it doesn't have too much sugar. Quite often shop-bought dressings are very high in sugar. So ideally, you can just keep some olive oil and balsamic vinegar at your desk, and then you know exactly what's going on to your salad. When you're out in the evening, so with the chocolate and the popcorn, the popcorn, again, it's with shop bought, we don't know what's in it. There might be a lot more calories in it with the fat content. It depends on which brand. And also with the chocolate, we really need to think about quantities there. So if it's half a bar of a large bar, then that's still probably too much chocolate. I would suggest a small row maximum.
I'm a massive addict for dark chocolate. I have heard it is healthy, so what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it is a healthier choice, but you do need to make sure that whichever brand you're choosing has a minimum of 70% cocoa solids, because then you know you're getting the antioxidant value, which then makes it a little bit healthier, and it's also then a little bit less sugar.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, so I can see that we're having the same breakfast every day. It is a good idea to try and vary your breakfasts. Again, if you vary your breakfast, you vary the foods you're taking in, you will vary the nutrients. So perhaps some porridge or some eggs or a yogurt for breakfast would be a good idea. When you're having the cashew nuts, a handful needs to be a small handful. So maybe 8 or 9 nuts maximum. So otherwise, we're taking in too many calories. Lunch with tuna salad, again, very good vegetables, good to vary the vegetables, so we've got a nice choice there. I love the fact that you've got some good quality protein with the salmon in the evening, with the potatoes, broccoli and peas. So the peas are a starchy vegetable, along with the potatoes, that's actually quite a lot of carbohydrates. So perhaps a vegetable that was more green and leafy, for example, broccoli, cabbage, some green beans, that would have been a better choice. The yogurt in the evening as a snack, half a mango, dark chocolate and cacao nibs is actually a lot more sugar than you would realize. So mango is a sweet fruit, so that's quite high sugar. The yogurt, was it a fruit yogurt or was it just natural?
It was just natural Alpro, so dairy-free.
Okay, so that's lovely. So that will have less sugar than a sweet one, but if you are choosing a fruit yogurt, just be careful because that can also be quite high sugar. And then of course, the dark chocolate and the cacao nibs. Cacao nibs are not so high in sugar, but the dark chocolate will be, as well as the mango. So perhaps one or the other would have been a better choice.
I try and pack in as much fruit and veg as I can, but is there a limit on how much fruit I should be having?
Really, with fruit, it should be a maximum of 2 per day. Although it has got health benefits, you've got your vitamins and your minerals and fibre, you've also got a lot of sugar. It's natural sugar, but it is still high sugar. So really a maximum of 2 per day. So if you're having them in your smoothies as well as a snack, then you do need to think about how many portions you're having. Okay, so although the protein ball is perceived as a good choice, it is made up of dried fruits, usually dates or apricots or raisins. That's very high sugar. So although it has the protein as well in the nuts usually, we just need to be careful on the quantity and the size of the protein ball. The spicy tomato and chicken curry with cauli rice, was that a homemade choice? Excellent. So you know exactly what's going into your curry. The spices are also a very good choice. They're therapeutic, they're healthy, they're anti-inflammatory, and you've served it with a cauli rice rather than normal rice. So we've reduced the carbohydrate and also added in another portion of vegetables. So that's a great choice. Grapes are a very high sugar fruit. So if you're going to have grapes, I would try and limit the portion. So again, a small handful and no more. So put them in your hand and then put the rest away.
That's a shame.
So with the green juice, it's always worth bearing in mind the ratio of vegetables to fruit. Ideally, we want it to be 3 vegetables to 1 fruit, and that way we're going to make sure that our juice hasn't got too much sugar in it. Falafels are an excellent choice. They're usually chickpea based, which is fibre and protein. And you've also got hummus as well, which is more fibre and protein with the chickpeas. And tahini also provides good calcium and also good oil. So that's a really lovely choice. So with your afternoon snack, although it's a soya ice cream, it's still going to have probably more sugar than you realised. And then as well with the dark chocolate, that's even more sugar. I would actually try and do without the snack and try and go from lunchtime straight through to dinner. And with your dinner, you didn't have very much. It was just an orange and apple with cashew butter, probably because you were still full from your snack earlier in the afternoon. I would have preferred that you have a proper meal that was actually providing more nutrients.
3 red wines, 3 Jaeger bombs, tequila, and 4 vodka with soda and lime. I'm surprised I remember that.
Wow. So with alcohol, we do need to remember that it is sugar, it is calories, and that's going to contribute a significant number of calories to your daily intake. You've got some good choices there. At least there's soda and lime, which isn't a high calorie mixer, but nevertheless, along with everything else, it's probably one thing that we should try and look at reducing if you're looking to lose weight and reduce your calories. Going back to lunch, you've got a sweet potato and leek soup. What we're lacking there is some good protein, and I'm probably not surprised to see that you've snacked in the afternoon because it wasn't enough to sustain you through to the afternoon. You've had a good handful of walnuts, which is lovely. You've got some good omega-3 oils, but then with the apple juice, which is very high sugar, as well as a handful of raisins, that's really quite a lot of sugar to be taking in. You've got bone broth that I think would be adding to your hydration, which is a good thing, and that's a good choice. When you're out at a restaurant, it's never easy to make the right choices. Chicken is a good choice because it will be lean, but obviously with the French fries, that's probably not such a great choice. But if you're out socializing, it's always difficult to make good choices.
Yeah, definitely. On Sunday,
So So it seems you were craving sugar first thing in the morning with your porridge with raisins and honey. Raisins and honey are both high sugar, but when you've got cinnamon as well, then that can actually mimic the taste of sugar. So perhaps you can avoid one or the other, so either raisins or a little bit of honey. When it comes to lunch, a roast is always a good meal. You've got good protein, good vegetables. You've chosen some parsnips as well as potatoes and as well as peas, and they are all starchy vegetables. So again, I would prefer that you have a dark green leafy vegetable like green beans or cabbage or broccoli instead, as well as the other vegetables to balance it out. So for your evening meal, you had 2 slices of toast, butter and Marmite. And Marmite is actually a very good choice because it's packed with vitamin B, which is really good for your energy levels. You've then gone on to have a vegan chocolate Tiffin. Now, just because it's vegan doesn't actually make it a healthy choice. It simply means we've used different ingredients to make it. If you'd had some protein with your evening meal, perhaps an egg, or if you're eating dairy, some cheese, then that probably would have been enough to keep you going for the evening and you wouldn't have been craving anything sweet, and that would have been a better choice.
If someone is hungover, what would your tips be for getting back on track the next day?
I would really advise a protein-rich meal and also alongside some carbohydrate because you will be low in sugars, but as long as it's balanced off with some good quality protein. So eggs, maybe some chicken, maybe some fish, some smoked salmon, something like that to really keep you going and just keep you sustained for the morning.
So overlooking my week, are there any patterns or habits that you've particularly picked up on that are bad?
Well, there are 2 things that stand out for me. The first one is that you're having the same breakfast every day. Although it's a good choice of a smoothie, so you've got your kefir, you've got your protein powder and some fruits in there, as well as some good oils, it's still the same every day. If you vary your breakfasts, you will vary your nutrients, and that's really important. So perhaps mixing it up with some porridge one day, some eggs another day, some yogurt another day with a homemade granola or a low sugar granola, that would have been a good choice. The other thing that stands out for me is that there's a lot more sugar than you would think. Now that's going to have an impact on your energy levels because you're going to have your blood sugar fluctuations that will surge and then come crashing down. So if we can keep things a little bit more balanced, by increasing the protein, then you will find that you won't be craving so much sugar, and that will have a good impact on your energy levels and also on your overall calorie intake, which will help with your weight loss as well.
Okay, great, thank you. And what are your general tips for weight loss?
So if we're looking specifically at weight loss, there are 2 things I'd like you to consider. The first one would be if you can avoid the snacks. There's a lot of research now to suggest that if we can have longer periods between our meals, so from breakfast to lunch to dinner, then actually we start to release fat and we're going to be more likely to lose weight. So as long as your meals are very good quality with good protein, good vegetables, good fiber at each meal, you won't have that need to crave, and you can probably then go through at least 4 or 5 hours to the next meal. So that would be one thing. To make sure that your meals are actually good quality, I would suggest half your plate would be vegetables. Out of the other half, a quarter would be protein and a quarter would be carbohydrate. And of that carbohydrate, if we can make it starchy vegetables, so you're actually getting more nutrients and more benefit from that. So really looking at butternut squash, sweet potato, perhaps some quinoa there as well, rather than white rice or white pasta, which has little nutrient value. And that way you're going to get a really nice balance, and it's going to be a little bit more focused on weight loss.
There's some great advice there, May. I'm really hoping that will help me move forward in my weight loss. If you have any questions, then feel free to comment below and we'll get those answers back to you. Thank you, May.
You're welcome.